We're bringing in this group energy named Abraham. And the concept is you can bring anything in you want. Just allow yourself to feel it, raise your vibration. So a lot of it is, just keeping your energy up so that you can do it. And so basically, the thing with manifestation is a lot of times we block ourselves because it's going too slow. We're going, well, this isn't happening. This isn't going the way I want it to. And what happens is we get into a mindset and go, okay, it's just not going to happen, and we give up. So I find this to be really helpful. You want to identify what you're afraid of. And the first way to do this is think of a goal you really want. Maybe a new home, maybe the love of your life, maybe a vacation, maybe all of them. So just imagine one of them and just see yourself in this role for a long. Picture something. Okay, everybody do it. Think of a role think of something you want to manifest just for a minute. And now do some role playing. Let's say it was a new job. Imagine that you've got this amazing job that you love and you're going to work every day and you're making mucho bucks. And then start doing some other role playing. Start thinking of things that might not be as positive, just to be really realistic about it. Because the thing is, if you're more realistic about it, you're looking at the whole thing and you're also identifying maybe some fears that are holding you back. The thing is this, just recognize the fears. If you recognize them and say, okay, I'm afraid of this, or this is holding me back, that's the first step. Then it's not like, oh my goodness, I can't do this. So just recognizing and going it's this way, like Eckhart Tolle, who wrote The Power of Now. You're observing it, you're going, okay, so it is. And it really helps. So I think the main thing, if I was just going to do a 4-word class, it would be gentle acceptance is the key. That's 5 words, but you get the idea. So one of the best ways to do this is gratitude. Because gratitude is a way to focus on those things that are going right. It's one of the most powerful attractors in the universe. And by acknowledging it, you see that there are more things to be grateful for. So I'm going to share a story with you. About 9 years ago, I became friends with my ex-sister-in-law. I'd always liked her, and she'd been divorced from my brother for years, and we became friends on Facebook. And it was Halloween. It was right around Halloween, and she posted that she was going to put down something every single day that she was thankful for until Thanksgiving. And I thought, wow, that seems like a really good idea. I'm going to do it. And sometimes it was so hard. It was so hard. Like, okay, today I'm thankful that these vegetables that have been in my refrigerator for 3 weeks aren't spoiled. Other days it was so easy. I'm thankful it's a beautiful day. And people started messaging me on Facebook going, thank you, this is so inspirational. And here it is 9 years later and I'm still doing it. And I want to tell you that and writing down 3 days, everything that I'm thankful for is the best way to get the day going. It's just, I can't even begin to put in words how good it is. So there are a couple of things that I want to talk to you or mention to you about gratitude. When you say thank you, it's a magnet. You're giving thanks, you're drawing in all this good. And even when you say thank you for this crappy situation or this lesson, what's the gift in it? It shifts it. It really does. Because you get some things are a lot better than others. And I'm not a fool enough to go, it's all good, because it doesn't always feel all good. But there's always something in it. And when you say thank you, it's a way of saying more, please. So I would say, start every day with gratitude. It makes all the difference in the world. It really does. And so that is one thing I want to share with you. And now I'm going to go into the next thing, which is just think in your head for a minute, 3 things you're grateful for. Ari, pick on a volunteer for me. I'm going to have them mention 3 things they're grateful for.
Okay.
Ethan wanted to be a volunteer. I did see that.
JP wants to tell us 3 things he's grateful for.
JP, great, thank you. What are three things you're
You know, for some reason, I sense you were gonna call me. I don't know why. Three things I'm grateful for is my health, my access to sunshine, and my ability, my breath, my ability to just breathe and connect with my breath.
It's amazing. Let's pick one more person and pick on them, okay? Thank you for doing that. That's really good. Who else? Who else wants to give us? Because keep in mind, when you do that, you're going to raise everybody's vibration. They go, yeah, I'm grateful for that.
Ruth A wants to tell us 3 things she's
Hey,
grateful
Ruth A, what are your 3 things that you're grateful for today?
I am grateful for my dog, Bo, and my cat, Kira.
Aww.
I'm grateful for my job, and I'm grateful for the massage I'm going to have this afternoon.
Wow, thank you. And don't you notice that when you start doing that, I mean, doesn't everybody feel a little better? I do. I'm grateful that you folks are here. I'm grateful that the PowerPoint is working, and I'm just grateful to be alive. Now I am going to talk to you about Byron Katie. Have any of you heard of her, or all of you? JP has. Ruth A has, and I can't see the rest of your hands, but some of you have. Okay, so Byron Katie was this morbidly obese housewife, and she needed to lose weight. And the only place that would take her was her insurance. For her insurance was a halfway house for obese women. I didn't even know such a thing existed, but Byron Katie is sitting on the floor of this halfway house for obese women. And by the way, the reason she's sitting on the floor is she doesn't feel worthy of sleeping in a bed. And a cockroach comes and runs across her leg, and she has an epiphany, and she says, oh my God, my thoughts are making me this way. And she goes home totally transformed. And she sits there looking out the window, and the man she's married to, get my words, at the time, says, you shouldn't be looking out the window all the time. And she goes, no, he shouldn't be talking to me like this. And people start coming to her, and she creates this 4-step program called The Work, okay? So I'm going to tell you the 4 steps, and then we're going to ask for another lovely volunteer. This is the most powerful exercise. A lot of times when I'm doing readings, I'll bring this in because it's amazing. And I'm sure you all know it. Our thoughts are so powerful, but a lot of times we just block ourselves. At least I do. So we're going to change things today. And a year from now, we're going to come back and just talk about how much you've manifested everything. So the 4 steps are, you think of a thought that's causing you stress. And we will be doing that. And you do it in a sentence form. Then you list every single feeling having this thought is making you feel. And then you ask yourself if it's true, is it really without exception true? And then you ask yourself how you would feel if you didn't have the thought. And then you take some sentences and turn it around. Isn't that easy enough? So who wants to play? Who wants to be the volunteer to do Byron Katie? Because if no one plays, it's airy. So
I wouldn't mind being a volunteer.
You want to be a volunteer? Okay. Give me a thought. Yeah. Give me a thought that's causing you stress.
I have this fear that I'm gonna gain a lot of weight.
Oh God, okay, never mind. I won't personalize this. Okay. Oh, Sunny, hi. Okay, so give me your thought about you gaining weight I know it's like Gary's mouth wasn't moving. Give me a sentence about the stress you have thinking you're gonna go wait, like I think that. So start with I think that and just.
I think that I'm going to eventually gain a lot of weight no matter what I do.
Okay, that's a good sentence. I always say when people put a really negative thought, they're doing it right. Now, I want you to give me every single feeling, just in one word, every single adjective about having this thought makes you feel. How do you feel thinking that you're going to gain weight regardless of what happens? Just give me a list of words.
Stressed,
okay.
Overwhelmed.
Okay.
worried.
Even if it's silly. Okay, what else?
Food,
Okay,
scale,
okay,
calories.
okay. How else do you feel thinking you might gain weight?
Oh, feeling words. I said worried. Yeah, fearful,
Worried, anxious.
nervous, unworthy.
Okay,
Hopeless is another good one too.
that's a really good one. Is that pretty much it?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you something. Are you like this in every area of your life? Are you always like this with everything? Stressed, worried, hopeless, like regardless of what
No,
happens? No.
no with everything. No,
Okay, you're
I
not.
can.
Are you really unequivocally without exception like this in your life? Every day?
About this topic, yes.
No, about everything.
Oh, no.
Okay. So if you did not have this thought, give me every single feeling that you would have if you didn't think you were going to gain weight. Every single feeling. How would you feel if you weren't worried about that?
Well, the first one that came to mind is relieved.
Okay,
'Cause I
relief.
wouldn't have
That's a
that.
good one. What else?
I would feel comfortable,
Okay,
at
that's a good
ease,
one. Mm-hmm.
trusting,
Mm-hmm.
um, confident.
Those are great. Any others? Or is that pretty much it for you?
I think the last one that came up for me is lovable.
I love
As
those.
if they
Okay, those are really interesting. So let me tell you something really interesting. When I do this in a session, the people write down the first words about how they feel, having this thought. And then they write how they would feel not having this thought. And the writing is entirely different. It's bigger, it's looser, it's easier to read. It's like a different person. So now I have a question for you, Sunny. Are you ready?
Yes.
If having this thought makes you feel all those things like hopeless, worried, sad, and not having this thought makes you feel positive, open, and hopeful, do you know what the question is? You want to guess
Why
it?
do I have it?
Yeah, because it's
Why do I have
because it's the thought, it is a thought that's making you feel this way. Not that you don't have a right. So you change your thoughts, which we're going to talk about today, and they go away. So now we have one more step for you. You get to take that sentence and you get to give me 3 sentences where you've changed it in some way. Anyway, the way you look at it, the way you feel, what others think. Just the idea is just to have 3 sentences. You could say the sky's purple and the grass is green. It wouldn't make a difference, but it'd be better if it was about this. So can you give me 3 sentences where you're changing it?
Okay, so dang. I know what my body needs.
Perfect. Perfect. That's a good one. If I could get into reactions, I'd do a little applause. What's your next one?
I'm lovable no matter what.
I love that one. I just feel that in my heart. What's your third one? You're doing great, by the way.
And thank you. And I'm gonna focus on this present moment and not scare myself with future thoughts.
Wow. Okay, so let me ask you something. How do you feel?
Good. It resonates.
Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, when you started this exercise, and thank you for volunteering, 10 being really stressed. What number were you about this situation?
I think like a 7.
What do you know?
Like a 3.
See? And isn't that amazing? Isn't that like the best exercise? I love that exercise. And it really does work. The name of the book is Loving What Is, and the author is Byron Katie. So Thank you for volunteering. Now what we're going to talk about is Gay Hendricks. And does anyone else besides JP heard about Gay Hendricks? Gay Hendricks is amazing. He wrote a book called The Big Leap. And Gay Hendricks is a spiritual psychologist in Boulder who would coach executives. And he found out that almost invariably, without exception, they self-sabotaged. And the self-sabotage was attaining something and then just being blocked. And he would call it the UL, or upper limits, because then you were blocked. And he found out that there were 4 reasons, primarily all starting in childhood, which caused people to do this. So kind of in your head, raise your hands when we mention what they are, okay? The first one is fear of outshining, which is really powerful. I see someone nodding. That's one of mine. One is fear of abandonment. Wow, if I do this, if that's not what I'm brought up to be, Ruth A's raising her hand. Third one is it's too much work. And that's when you're given a message as a child, mixed messages like you're a burden, but you're also a blessing. And the fourth one is you're fundamentally flawed. So think about it. I'm going to give you a couple examples. I know you're going to find this hard to believe, but I'm not the most athletic person in the world. And when I was in grade school in Michigan, we went to a lumber yard on a field trip. And after the trip, we were done. We all had to run to the bus. And the bus was about half a block away. You could see the bus, and it was raining. And I got in line, and I was first. I was so proud of myself. And that night at dinner, I said to my family, guess what? We all ran to the bus, and I was first. You know what they said? Oh, you can't do that. You're not athletic. I was like, They give another example about a little girl having dinner with her family in the book. And she's gotten really good grades. And she says to her family, she says, I got better grades than Billy, her brother, sitting there. And she looks over, really excited, and her mother's not smiling. And she gets the idea, oh, I can't do that. And so you just want to think, it could even relate now. Like, I like the example of somebody who really hates their boss. And during break, you go outside and talk about how much you hate your boss. And then you get a new boss. And you and the boss love each other. You just really do. But nobody else does. But you don't want to tell people, because if you do, they might think, oh, little brown noser person. So, you tend to do things which make you fit in. For mine, the 2 things were fear of abandonment and fear of outshining. So now that I've given you all these things that cause you stress.
Kendara, can
Yes,
you repeat those 4 fears again?
Absolutely, absolutely. One is, I'm looking for them in a good place that I can read them. Okay, fear of outshining. Fear of outshining is a lot of times when you're outstanding and maybe one of your siblings isn't. My father had a lot of trouble financially later on in life. He went bankrupt. And I remember that really affected my career. How could I have the audacity to be more successful than he was? So that's the first one. The second one is fear of abandonment, which is self-explanatory. Wow, if I act differently than I'm brought up. And I look at people, and I'm not going to get political, but I am a little, but not to the point where you're going to kick me off of this thing. But they're talking to people about why they're voting a certain way, either one. Oh, I'm doing it because my family did. So a lot of times we do things just because we're kind of expected. So fear of outshining, fear of abandonment, too much work. Oh, God, I have to do this and this and this to succeed. And you're fundamentally flawed. So those are the 4. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about how to change this. How to release self-sabotaging fears that might, oh, here they are also, guys, ladies. Feeling fundamentally flawed, disloyalty, believing that more success is a bigger burden, and fear of outshining. And those are so powerful, just so incredibly powerful. So positive thoughts are 100 times more strong than negative thoughts. And when a negative thought appears, be aware of it. and then replace it with positive thought. Well, a lot of times that's easier said than done, but you know, as the Hicks would say, just do the best you can and don't be hard on yourself. You know, sometimes it's an effort just to get out of bed and have coffee. Okay, how many of you have heard about Lynn Grabhorn? Lynn, this is so cool. Okay, have most of you heard of the book The Secret? That was written in 2003. It was the first purportedly book on manifestation. Au contraire, in 1993, Lynn Grabhorn wrote, "Excuse me, your life is waiting." And this is such a cool story, and it's true. So one day in 1993, Lynn Grabhorn looked outside her window and saw somebody who worked for the city tearing down the trees to make the street wider. And she said with a lot of passion, "Oh, I wish he wouldn't do that." And she shut her blinds. Went about her day. Next day, she opened up her blinds and was astonished to see. I don't need a volunteer, but what does somebody want to guess or put in chat, or who doesn't know what she saw that really astonished her? Or shall I tell you? Okay, this is,
Tell us, Kendara.
I will tell you, everybody. What Lynn Grabhorn saw outside her window was that every single tree on the street was torn down except for the ones in front of her house. And she ran after the guy because he was looking at his work. And she said, "Excuse me, I noticed that you tore down every single tree in front of the house on the block except for mine. Why didn't you tear down mine?" And he looked at her and said, "Oh, I don't know, ma'am. Just seemed like the thing to do. Don't you think they look nice?" And she created this program called, well, I don't know what it was called, honestly. It's 4 steps. 4 steps to manifesting. So who wants to volunteer for this amazing 4-step to manifesting exercise, which is incredible?
It will be Ethan who's volunteering.
Oh, I was hoping, I can't have favorites. I love everybody here, but I'm really happy to see you.
It's all
Okay,
right.
law of attraction in 4 steps. So what we're going to do, Ethan, is you're going to think of a goal that you've got. And you're going to identify what you don't want. But here's the tricky thing. The mind does not register negatives. That's why if you say, "I don't want something," the universe thinks, "Oh, she wants it," or "he wants it." Pets don't register negatives. If you say to your dog, "Don't go into the trash," and you're sending your dog a picture of the trash, dog's going to do it. So, you know, it's just interesting. So, Ethan, are you ready to play?
Yeah,
I want.
yeah, I'm ready. I had to stop eating my breakfast here,
Oh, darn it. Okay.
but I'm ready.
Okay, I'm glad you're ready. Thank you for volunteering. Give me a goal that you've got.
I want to lower my blood sugar without medication.
I love that one. Okay. So what I want you to do first of all is tell me every single thing that you want to avoid in doing this.
Um, you mean as far as my behaviors, or as far
Anything,
as the
your
outcome?
behavior, your thoughts, your, you know, what you're going to use, anything. What do you want to avoid in terms of having to lower your blood sugar?
I want to avoid taking medications.
Okay, that's a good one.
I want to avoid not being able to eat what I like.
Okay, that's a good one too. What else do you want to avoid? Is that pretty much it?
I think so.
Okay, now I want you to tell me every single thing you want in terms of lowering your blood sugar. Everything.
I
What do you
want
want
to
this to look like for.
so I want to be able to when I measure my blood sugar in the morning, to see the numbers that are within a normal range.
Awesome.
I want to be able to enjoy food.
Yeah.
I want to be able to
Doing great.
well, I'm thinking about something I don't want. So I don't want to have to.
You can't play. You missed
Oh,
the don't.
I missed
You're-
it. Okay.
Yeah. What do you want to avoid? Go
what
ahead.
do I think that's it. I mean, that's what I can
Okay.
think about.
Now comes the fun part. Are you ready?
Yeah.
It's called 16 seconds of whooshing. So for 16 seconds, and I will time you, you're going to talk about you having your blood sugar the way you want it in the present for 16 seconds, like you've got it right now. Ethan, tell me about what it's like having your blood sugar the way you want it to be, and start.
I woke up this morning and I measured my blood sugar and it was 90. And that was amazing because it's within the normal range. And then I went ahead and I had a very healthy breakfast that I cooked myself. And I feel really good in my body. I don't feel tired. I feel energized.
Stop. 16 seconds. How do you feel?
Good.
You want to know what the last step is?
Yes.
You let it go knowing it's going to happen. Isn't that cool? So you think about what you want to avoid. You identify what you want. You find the feeling place. And you did that beautifully. And did anybody else notice how his energy changed? How he started talking really more positively? And it was really good. So thank you for being my guinea pig. It's
Thank you.
Now you can go back and eat your breakfast.
Thank you.
I'm going to talk about affirmations a little bit. That's not in my PowerPoint, but affirmations are amazing because every single thought you have, every single thing you say is an affirmation. All of our self-talk, all of our inner dialogue are affirmations. So what you want to do is you want to use positive affirmations. Positive affirmations are short, positive statements targeted at a specific subconscious belief. And what they're doing is they're challenging and undermining negative beliefs. And they're replacing them with positive self-nurturing ones. See, have you noticed how easy all this stuff is? It's not, you don't need to buy $5 million worth of equipment. I mean, you can, but you've got it right there. You've got it right there. So here's the part, and I mentioned this in one of Barry's classes one time, and she said, did anybody else feel this? People go, why don't people use affirmations? Well, guess what, folks? They do. But it's been demonstrated that nearly 90% of our thoughts are negative. And it's these thoughts that validate our negative nocturnal beliefs, like, oh, I can't do this. Oh, I'm never going to be able to do this. Oh, I'm such a fool. Cancel. This is much too easy for me. But you get the idea. Affirmations really work. And if you repeat them with conviction and passion, this will chip away at even the strongest resistance. So I am ready for my next volunteer. Who would like to play affirmations?
It's going to be Monica.
Yay, Monica. Thank you.
Hey.
Okay. Where's Monica? Hi, Monica.
Hi.
There you are. Okay. So the thing is, I'm so happy you're here. So the thing is, first of all, what you do is and we're going to do it. You think of it, and you can all do this part. You think of it, a couple areas that you really want to improve, that you want to manifest and really affirm. And you write a few sentences on each one. Now they need to be in the present, these sentences do. And they need to be what you want, not what you don't want. So for instance, if you wanted a fulfilling job, you might say, I have a wonderful job that fulfills me on many levels. So give me something you'd like to affirm, or some area that you really want to
My
strengthen.
personal spiritual development.
I love that one. So one might be, I am spiritually on a path which allows me to develop this aspect of my life. You could say my spirituality is just where it needs to be, and it gets stronger every day. I am strengthened as I experience my spirituality. Notice we didn't say as I will develop it, but it's things like that. So it's just kind of simple. Who else wants to do affirmations? Anybody else want an affirmation for something?
Chris is next.
Yay, Chris. Thank you for playing. Chris, what's an area that you'd like an affirmation on? Here you are. Hi. What?
Positivity.
Oh God, that's a great one.
Positivity.
That is so good. Okay, so I am positive in every area of my life. Every day I get easier and better for me. My positive energy increases and grows by leaps and bounds. I am positive, energized, and excited. And the thing is, so isn't that cool though? Just 3 ones. Want to do one more? I'll tell you why 3 is a magic number. The first one is you're thinking about it. The second one, you're putting it out there. And the third one, you're releasing it. Ari, why don't you do it?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Okay.
For
Sorry,
your
I'm
100th
the next
anniversary.
volunteer. So what do I want to have an affirmation on?
Yeah.
I want Awkwardly Zen to be my full-time job.
I love that. Okay, so Awkwardly Zen is my full-time job. Awkwardly Zen is an amazing group that brings people in from all over the world. I am a manifestor and allowing Awkwardly Zen to touch a lot of lives. See, isn't it fun? And I'm noticing with affirmations and for myself, if I can find a way to bring other people and I'm doing things for others, for some reason it feels like it's okay. So let me give you some really cool tips on how you can do affirmations. You can write them down and put them on a piece of paper next to your mirror. You can put them all over the house. You can say them with passion. You can sing them. I am divinely rich, or something like that. But the thing is, it really works beautifully for you. So now what we're going to talk about a little bit is empaths. Empaths, coming from the word empathetic, which makes us take on the whole world and makes us a lot of times feel guilty when we're not doing what we want. And it's not that we can't, and it doesn't mean we all feel like that, but we pick up other people's stuff a lot of times. And so I'm finding that a way you can find out is that you pick up people's things. For instance, I was at a mall one time and I was sitting down, I felt pretty good. And suddenly I got this feeling of sadness and depression. And son of a gun, if this woman didn't come and sit right behind me, so her back was against me. So, I was picking up her stuff. So I said, well, I got out of there as fast as I could, but I said, send it with love and light. Also, another thing that really works is putting a pink light around yourself. Pink is a color which energizes and protects. So those are really helpful things. So how can you tell if you're an empath? Well, have you been labeled as too emotional? If someone's feeling bad, you start feeling it too? Are your feelings easily hurt? Are you emotionally drained by crowds? Yeah, we're all doing that. Do your nerves get frayed by noise or smells? Do you prefer taking your own car so that you can leave when you please? And you tend to overeat to cope with emotional stress? All things, or maybe don't eat. It's just interesting things. Now, that doesn't mean if you do it, you're an empath, but it's interesting to know. And last but not least, am I afraid of becoming engulfed by intimate relationships? Okay, anyway, that's TMI, but you notice that stuff. So if you've answered yes to one or 3 of these things, you're probably at least part empath. More than 3, you probably really are an empath. So once you recognize it, notice with all these things, it's recognizing it. Okay, I'm recognizing that I'm doing it. No self-defeat. Don't be hard on yourself. You're doing it. It's serving you. So let's talk a little bit about how to find some balance. Allow yourself some quiet time to emotionally decompress. So everybody take your hand like this and open it up really fast like this. And look at it. It's been said that people, see how my hand's closed and then I'm going like this? It's been said that people who have a big space between their thumb and their index finger need at least 20, Ari, you've really got it, need at least 20 minutes a day by themselves. So it's just interesting. So allow quiet time to decompress. Take a brief walk. Take a little meditation. Practice guerrilla meditation. Just meditate for a few seconds. You can just sit down and breathe out. Define your needs. Be a selfish giver. If someone asks too much of you, politely tell them no. If your comfort level's for 3 hours, well, then just do 3 hours. So what does selfish giver mean? Selfish, I'm going to give you a story because I love stories. There was somebody who I was going to be friends with, and then I realized I really didn't want to be friends with them, but I didn't want to be mean. And they asked if they could come over. And being nice, I said, sure, come on over. Wondering whether to let them in when they came, but I did. And I guess they noticed because within 5 minutes of being here, they looked at me and they said, you know, if you hadn't wanted me to come over, why didn't you tell me? So I thought, whoa, you hit that one right on the head. So what you do is you say something like, you know, better if you don't come over today, but let's talk tomorrow, or just do something that's comfortable for you and put it on you, because I'm feeling kind of like I wouldn't be the best company. Other things, if crowds are overwhelming, eat a high protein meal. If you feel really nuked by perfume, it said ask your friends not to wear it. I would not be comfortable doing that, but I'd kind of move away by a window and put my head out of it. And all of those things really help. So over time, keep a list to yourself, and then you can see what's causing you emotional overload. So now I'm going to share with you how to stop absorbing others' negative emotions. And if anybody has any questions or anything they want to put in chat, we can address them.
Kendara, so right now on the screen is goal setting in 7 easy steps. Are we headed to that?
We're headed towards it.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure we weren't missing a slide.
No, we're not.
Perfect.
How much time do I have? I have till 10:30, don't I?
You do. You're doing great.
Woohoo! Well, I'm having fun. I'm really happy you guys are here. There are 9 ways to stop absorbing other people. See, when I had this PowerPoint, that was pretty much it. But as time's gone on, I've started adding things. So I just didn't put it in the PowerPoint. It's so easy to pick up people's emotions. It's absolutely, and you can do it without realizing it. Like we were talking about it earlier, easier. So number 1, when this happens, a lot of times you get stressed and you get drained. And here's some little tips that you can tell. People call you overly sensitive. You sense people's stress and you pull it in. It's like, oh, I'm so feeling this. You feel exhausted and unhappy in crowds. Now, this is worst case scenarios. You're not going to do all of that, but you might do some of it. Really noisy crowds can get you. Your feelings are hurt. You're so giving and you're really a good listener. And a lot of times you're such a good listener that people are busy talking to you and they're not asking you what you need. You tend to ensure that you've got an escape plan, and intimacy of relationships can feel like suffocation. Now, notice how a lot of these are similar in different ways. And we're not just talking about romantic relationships. It can be any type of relationship. So what you do is you identify if you're susceptible. Then you seek the source. Is it you? Are you, bringing it on yourself, or is it people you're around? If it's bringing it on yourself, maybe talk to someone about it, even if it's a good friend. That's why Aries group's so good, because I'm sure that you've got this amazing support group of your 7 major people. Distance yourself from the suspected source when possible. I will tell you, being an empath, if I'm walking down the street and I see someone's energy that's like, oh my God, I'm out of here, I will cross the street. I just will. I don't care. I'm not going to be nice, which sometimes I'm not, but I'm not going to put myself through this stuff. And I don't walk around the street always crossing it over. I'm just giving you worst case scenarios. Center yourself by concentrating on your breath. This really helps. It's called Tunglen. Have all of you heard of it? Tonglen. And what you do is you bring in the negative emotions, the fear and the worry, and you change it and you breathe out light and peace and love. And it's a really wonderful way of shifting the energy. Flush out the harm. Negative emotions a lot of times can lodge in your solar plexus. So if you place your right palm on your solar plexus and your left hand out, send in the energy. Let a lot of positive, just wonderful feelings come in, and then let it go out. Shield yourself. Just allow yourself to be surrounded. White, pink. I was teaching a class once on something, and people were talking about shielding yourself. I think it was a healing class. And someone said, well, I'll tell you what you can do. And I went, what? What person who knows? And they said, put a blue light around yourself. And that sounded really good to me. So I thought, okay. So I'm walking downtown the next day, and I see someone come by me, and I go, oh, I don't really like their energy. And I put this blue light around myself, and they turn around and they smile, and I go, wait, that's not what I wanted to do. So I walked down the street a little more. Same thing happens. And I thought, okay, I'm missing something here. And I went back and asked them, oh no, blue is the color of Mother Mary. It's love. If you put blue around yourself, you're going to draw it in. But pink is good because pink is the energy and white is shielding. And again, you don't want to be afraid to live and be open, be positive. 99% of the people are incredible. But if you're emotional, you know, and it's easy to be, you kind of want to avoid doing that. So manage it. Meditation, look for positive people like in this situation, like this group. This group is so good. I just love it. And I was thinking, God, how are people going to come at 9 o'clock? I go to Aries group every Tuesday at 7:30. So yeah, you do it because it's so good. So honestly, they're all just really cool things to do. Create a haven, and all these things will help you. And now comes the goal setting step. Goal setting is so important. Goal setting is, you know, you really want to have goals. And the reason you want to have goals is when you've got goals, it allows you to see it happening. So the first thing is you want to make sure that the goal you're working for is something you really want, not just something that sounds good. You know, that's so important. And anything, if it's something you want, then it's important to you. Second step, a goal cannot contradict any of your other goals. You know, if you've got two goals that don't go together, pick one and then pick the other one. For instance, I want to lose 30 pounds, but I want to eat every single dessert in the world in 1 week. You can, but you probably should pick one and then pick the other. You want to develop goals in 6 areas of your life because it gives you a really well-rounded view. One is family and home, whatever that means to you. One is finance and career. One is spiritual and ethical. I'm not really comfortable with the ethical term. I'll just say spiritual, but I think it's anything that feels comfortable for you or good for you. Fourth one is physical and health, like Ethan's one for the lowering the blood sugar. Fifth one is social and cultural. And what I would suggest you do is have 1 or 2 affirmations for each one. So then when you're looking at it, you can say out loud to yourself, I am healthy. Last one's mental and educational. Take some classes. You know, YouTube has classes for everything in the world. You can do them all. So what you want to do is the first step again is you identify what you don't want. Then you identify what you do want. I realize I just went to the wrong place. Let's start again. Make sure the goal you're working for is good. Then a goal can't contradict. Then you develop goals in the 6 areas of your life. Then you write your goals in the positive instead of the negative. And write them in the present. And write them out in complete detail. Instead of saying, I want a new house. Say, I want a 2,400 square foot condo with a porch and 2 baths and an eat-in kitchen and all of that stuff. Or I want to do a class where an ambulance doesn't go by and disrupt it. You know, that type of thing. By all means, make sure your goals are high enough. Because if you shoot for the moon, even if you miss, you'll still be in the stars. And again, I know I said it before, but write down your goals. So you make sure the goal is something you really want. Don't let it contradict with any of your others. And you know, actually, it doesn't have to contradict. You could take a goal and then you could just maybe change it a little bit so it was more compatible. I want to lose weight, but I want dessert. It's okay. I'm going to have the best dessert in the world once a week. can do it all. If you want to do it, you can. You don't want to punish yourself. Develop goals in every area: family and home, financial, spiritual, physical, and don't be afraid to change them. Maybe it worked for you one time, it isn't anymore. Well, then don't do it. There's something else better coming for you. Now we're going, this may not be an hour and a half class, Harry. So we'll just do the best we can. Now we're going to talk a little bit about, this is not on the vision board, but I'm going to tell you 5 golden rules in goal setting. It's a little bit like the 7 steps. Set goals that motivate you, that create a sense of urgency, like I really want to do this. And I want to do it now. Write down why they're important. Now, here's number 3. This is the most important key to manifestation in the whole world. If I were not doing a class and I just said this, write this one down, everybody. You only tell people directly involved in helping you what your goals are. That's it. You don't sit there trying to beat a horse and explain to someone why you want to do this. Just do it.
Kendara,
But don't tell people, yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you said number 1 is set goals that motivate you. What was number 2?
Write why the goal is important.
Okay, thank you.
Why? Yeah, maybe I didn't say that. Right? Why? I got so excited about the 3rd one. Why is a goal important to you? Only tell those directly involved. That's so important. And set goals in writing, frame statements positively, post it where you can see it. Make an action plan. And when you make an action plan, write down what you intend to manifest. It would be a lot like the goals, but it really helps a lot to do that. Have a really good plan in terms of the way you're going to do it. And then what you also want to do is you want to stick with it. And you want to absolutely define what you want. I'm going to look for something really quickly. I'm going to go back into my little catch, and because I think this is something really helpful for you. And I'm going to find it. Okay, let's see. Come here, you. Manifestation. I was so careful to do this really well that I deleted a couple of things I didn't want. But I think the bottom line is, I'll just sum it in a nutshell. Allow yourself to manifest what you want. Realize you can have it one step at a time. That's it, one step at a time. So now let's talk about vision boards. Vision boards are awesome. Do most of you know about vision boards? Vision boards are boards that you can create. Neri did a really cool thing in her class, which was, what was it called again? That was so neat. Where you did the goal and then you made all these. Yeah, it was really neat. Tell them briefly about the life mapping, because that's so cool, if you don't
So the
mind.
basic idea is you take something that you want in your life and you put it in a circle in the middle of the page. I was just seeing if I had one near me. And then you just do offshoots of all the different things that, oh, look it, she's got one right there. So like, for instance, if I say I want to, since this was an example before, I want to lose weight. So then I'm going to do a circle off of it. That's all the different things that are going to feel good about that and how I might do that. Or let's say I want to make new friends. I'm going to put circles all around it that say all the different things I want those friends to have. So like, I want these friends to be fun, and I want them to be loving, and I want them to be considerate, and I want them to be, so all of those things. And it's just another way of doing a vision board, just in words instead of
It's
pictures.
really nice. And it's fast. It's easy. So with vision boards, it's a lot like that, but you create something that you want to have. Now, my experience with vision boards are several things. Do it for one thing. Do different vision boards, but do it for one thing, because sometimes the things will contradict each other. So pick one subject that's really going to be the main theme, and find pictures that correspond with it, and words. And you can print them and you can cut them out. You could probably even pick a piece of paper and do it online. But there's something very powerful about the physical act of cutting it. and type or write some affirmations that correspond to your theme. And then attach your pictures and affirmations to your poster board. Put them in a place that you can see it and hang a vision board where you'll see it every day. Now, this is one where they put 5 million different things on it, but it's kind of cool. I am going to share an amazing story with you about vision boards. True story. So I used to have this friend who wanted to get married. He was in his late 50s and he hadn't really had a lot of good luck with relationships, but he wanted to get married. And so he asked me if I knew any good dating sites. Now, why he was asking me, I don't know. But I said, yeah, I've heard that Plenty of Fish and OkCupid are pretty good. And then he did an ad. He did an ad of what he was looking for, and he had me look at it. And I swear he should have given me a finder's fee. But I told him, you know, I said I would do this, I wouldn't do this. And he had this nice ad. And then he went virtual and he put it online. So his vision board looked like this. He had a couple holding hands. And he had the words love in little hearts and all kinds of romantic stuff. And then he had a picture of a tail of a Hawaiian airplane on his vision board. And I said, why do you have a picture of a tail of a Hawaiian airplane on your vision board? And he said, because I think that would be a really good place to go on our honeymoon. He was living in Denver at the time. So he puts this vision board together and he puts this ad out. And within 6 weeks, maximum, this woman contacts him. And she says, I saw your ad. I really liked it. I could have written it about myself and I think we should meet. And he said, well, I agree. You seem really nice. I think we have a lot in common, but I don't think we should. And there's one reason. So does anybody want to guess the reason that he didn't think they should meet? Who doesn't know the story? Okay, are you ready? Ready to be amazed for the jaw-dropping thing? He said, I live in Denver and you live in Hawaii. And she said, distance can be navigated. Isn't that cool? Compatibility and love cannot. And they agreed to meet. And within a year, and she came to Denver in the dead of winter. Can you imagine? But within a year and a half, they were married. So there's one little thing which I've left out on vision boards, and it's the most important part. In the lower right-hand corner, you write, or something better. So I want this, but I'm open to something better. So basically, people, yeah, Eric just wrote it. I hate to. So we've got about 20 minutes left. Does anyone have questions? Or does anybody want to go through any of the exercises like creating affirmations or things?
We do have some questions.
Yay.
One, there's been a
I'm going to
request.
unshare. Okay.
What now?
No, I'm going to unshare. Okay. What are our questions?
All right. So first, there's been a request if people could get a copy of this PowerPoint. So could they email you for that?
I think I could do it, couldn't I? Friend of mine did the PowerPoint. I will do my best, you guys. Absolutely.
Okay.
Email.
Can you put your email in the chat?
I can, and I will. I would love to send this to you. Oh, someone said they did their. Now I'm looking at all these really cool things. Chris did hers on Canva.
All right.
I love that.
So, and then Elena wants to talk about, I'm not sure I'm saying your name right, so I apologize. So Elena, if you want.
It's Alana, yeah.
Alana, hi.
Hey.
Hi.
Okay.
Thanks for playing.
So I made this for New Year's, and it's my birthday is New Year's, so I always feel like I give things to people sometimes.
Okay.
And so you put your wishes or goals or whatever in here, and then there's some glitter and some
I love that.
some beads, and then you can shake it up too to add some energy. And I have some extras of these too, but you just take the top off and then you can add things.
That's awesome.
I love that.
That is really, really cool. Thank you for sharing that. That's really.
I gave some to some other people and they are using theirs. And then I was like, well, I should try one. So I made mine last night and
I love it. And you can carry it with you. That's very, very
Yeah, I like the
yeah,
glitter a lot.
Yeah,
I
on that
love
note,
that. That's so
yeah, I like that a lot. Thank you. On
Yeah,
that
thank
note,
you.
Ethan and Val taught a class on law of attraction the other day, or did an open forum. And Ethan, can you share what you gave for homework? Because I think that goes right along with all of this.
Yes. And can I share real quick? I was putting in the chat that I learned how to cross stitch yesterday. And my first cross stitch is the affirmation, I experience love wherever I go. And I just started.
Oh, wow.
I have a word and a half.
Oh
So
my, that is so cool. That, and you're like, as you're doing it, you're putting more energy into it.
yes,
That's beautiful.
yeah. Because
Oh,
you put all the little stitches into there.
I love that. Thank you. And then Chris said that she had a,
Oh, and Eric's question real quick. So Valerie and I, we had an open forum about the law of attraction. And the homework for next week was to take a box that means something to you, and just to take a piece of paper and to write 3 things that you want to invite into your life, and just put them in the box, and then just put them somewhere where you can see it, where you can see the box, and then either first thing in the morning or before going to bed, just opening the box and reading those affirmations or heart desires, and then just thinking about it a little bit.
that is really good. Do you want to put your information? Can they go to the second one if they haven't gone to the first class?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As
They
as
put it when it is and stuff. Ari has that on her group though, don't you, Ari?
Yep.
When they
So
do
next Thursday at noon Mountain Time, they have their second one, and you can come to the second one if you haven't come to the first. I think they'll probably be doing more of those.
I'm excited. I
yeah, it
think
was
that's
great
really cool.
size group. Okay, and then JP, do you want to ask your question about the self-judgment?
Yeah.
So this is regarding the goal setting. How do you create goals without the energy of I need to do this, the self-judgment,
Good idea.
right?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
What you do is you do what your heart tells you to do, and you make it easy. Start with something really, really simple. And then once you've done that, like, oh, okay, I've done that. What can I do now? I think what happens a lot of times is that people, like we said in the beginning, people start and then they go way out to the last step and they don't realize they need to be gentle with themselves. Does that help? Does that make sense?
Yep.
Being gentle with the self is really the most important part. Thanks for asking.
Thank you, Kendara.
Of course.
Okay, and then Amanda had a question about number 7, but I don't know number 7 where. So Amanda, can you bring us back?
Amanda, we can do that. Where's my PowerPoint?
Yes. So it was in the goal setting and 7 easy steps.
Oh, okay.
And I was goal 7. I wrote down most important and looked up and it was gone.
Oh,
so.
Most important is this. And I don't know if it was really number. I'm going back to my PowerPoint. Let's see. Okay. Goal setting, 7 easy steps. Okay. Most important, and that isn't really, is you only tell people directly involved in helping you attain your goals what they are. That's so prime, because a lot of times, seriously, people are unsure and they want approval to do it. So I'm going to tell my mother that I'm going to quit school and travel around the country. I know she'll love that. Well, she might not. And then you're like, so don't tell her. Any of you ever seen the show Master Chef? It's a great show. I don't cook, but I love it. So anyway, Gordon Ramsay's a chef, and he would have people, best home cooks in the country. Oh, by the way, did that answer your question? About
yes, thank you.
Okay, of course. Best home cooks in the country, come on. And at the end, there were 10, and the top winner would win like a bunch of money and have a cookbook that was published. Well, one of the last finalists was this guy, and he said, nobody knows I'm here. I'm not even telling my mother. And he didn't want to tell people till he did it. So it's not that you can't tell people, but just make sure that they have your interests in mind if you want to do that. Something else I want to throw in, I forgot to mention, but it really helps, is every birthday and every New Year's Eve, I write down 3 things that I've attained and 3 things I intend to manifest. And that's really, really powerful. I find that really helps a lot. And I have some of that stuff on my website, which interestingly enough is kendaralaurel.com. It's just like so easy. Do we have any other questions?
We do. So Kimberly wanted to repeat the law of attraction homework again. So just in a nutshell, you put 3 things that you want to create in your life into a box that means something to you. And then I think the idea is to surrender into that and allow it to go into the universe. So don't like overthink it, just put it over there and then read it once in the morning or in the evening, whatever feels right to you, for a week. Is that right, Ethan?
Ethan?
Yes. Yes.
Yep. Okay.
Yes.
All right. And then
That's a really good one, Ethan, by the way. Thank you for sharing.
yeah, absolutely. And then I'm gonna say your name wrong and I'm so sorry. Anuba?
Oh, that's
Yes,
great.
that's correct, Anuba.
Yay! Okay.
Woohoo! That's a great question. So what Anuba's asking, if the goals in the vision board have to be specific or can they be generic? The main thing is it should just be for one subject, but they can be I would say it's better to be broad. I mean, if you're too specific, you're really limiting yourself. Does that make sense? Like,
Yes.
so what would be not to put you on the spot, what would be a goal that you might have, Anuba?
Like I actually made a vision board last year,
Ah.
but I included a lot of things like related to my career, and then my parents, family, gut health,
Okay.
exercising, everything was in one vision board. And I accomplished a couple of them, and then there are still more that I'm working on. So that's why I was a little confused. Like now I realize after a year, maybe I'm not doing it right. So
That makes sense. And it's not a case of doing it wrong, honestly. It's a case of some work better. So what I would do if I were you is one of the things you mentioned were, I think, health. Did you say health? Or
yes.
so I would put health, and then I would put things that would help bring it in, like eating right, exercising, pictures of you working out, smiling, pictures of things you like to eat, pictures of, stuff like that. And maybe a little gold medal you gave yourself. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you so much.
Specific, not overly specific.
Can I comment on that as well?
Absolutely.
One, Anuba, I would really celebrate the fact that some of the things happened, because it's not like you put it on the vision board and you're just guaranteed. Source is going to take you, in my opinion, wherever. So I hope you're celebrating those. But I also have to say, be aware of what you post. I did a vision board, my first one ever, years and years and years and years ago. And I put it on my wall and I let it be. And I ended up dating someone at that time who was only about an inch taller than me, because I had put a couple up that was the height difference there, which I didn't even register. Same thing. I ended up with the exact bikini that I had on the perfect body that I wanted. So like, there's things like that you might not realize that you are attracting to yourself. So I think every once in a while to explore your vision board and to go, oh my gosh, like that little thing, I didn't even intend that, but I created that in my life. And then really celebrate those wins, because it's that gratitude that's going to help draw the rest of it in.
Yeah, because that's a good point, Ari. Yeah, I mean, give yourself credit. You accomplished some of those things. That's really awesome.
Yeah,
Really
I can tell
awesome.
it really helped me, but I think it works.
Yeah, and then put the or something better. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, and I was saying this. I have a Post-it note on my wall that says this or something better, and I change the picture, just one picture next to it. And then when I get that, then I put a different picture next to it. So I have a focused vision spot, which kind of works. And then
I love that. And then somebody wants me to repeat something, but what I'll do is I will share it with you. Sue wants to do the 9 ways to start. Let me see if I can
Sue wants
find
that. Alana also asked if she could try one of the exercises.
Absolutely. Alana, I'll look for this for Sue while I'm my goal.
Is it Sue or is it me? I'm confused.
They're 2 different people. Alana's the one who wants the exercise.
Yeah, and Alana, you were first, and then she'll get Sue right after you.
Yeah.
Okay, so sorry, my hair is just not, I'm having a bad hair day. That's why I turned the camera off.
If I wasn't
But-
doing that, you would be seeing me. No, it's cool.
But anyway, I have been trying for a long time to manifest a partner, and I meet people and I think, we have something special, and then it just turns out that they're manipulators or liars, and that's not what I'm writing down. That's not what I'm
Wow.
trying to visualize. That's not what I do. I have my journal right here, and I have all these visualization exercises in it, and then for love especially, and yet I have two people who stabbed me in the back within all of that when I thought that they were. So I don't know how to reverse this. I'll make vision boards, I'll meditate, I'm gratitude, I don't understand.
Get what you're saying. Totally get what you're saying. Thank you.
And to the point where I feel like maybe source is telling me that I need to become a Buddhist nun or something, and there's nobody out there for me.
I think that's what source is telling you. So several things come to mind. An exercise that would, thank you for asking, by the way. One of the things that would really be positive is to do the Lynn grab horn, where you're saying what you want and then what you want to avoid. Vision boards also, but I'm also feeling intuitively, because I'm a psychic, seriously, but that's neither here nor there. I'm feeling a lot of it is because you've been burned before and you're kind of expecting it to happen again.
I am expecting it.
It's like, yeah, when's the other shoe gonna fall, darn it? So focus.
Because it always does.
I know, but here's the thing that's getting away for you. See, first of all, what did you just say? What was the sentence you just said?
Because it always does. Even when
Stop right there. Stop right there. Because it always does. So you're saying to the universe, this always happens. And you say, okay, let's make it happen again. And so because you're wanting to avoid, and this isn't a criticism, because you're wanting to avoid what happened before, it's almost a case of creating the situation. Like, remember in the first part we talked about was you see the thing in its full force. You're doing a really good job of manifesting the people you don't want. So give yourself credit for that. But really, I take cats. I'm really happy about that. That's because they don't talk and don't have thumbs. But that's besides the point. The point is focus on the things that are attainable for you. Maybe just a really positive person to be friends with. A really awesome guy.
Oh, I have tons of those, but they're mostly gays.
Start with that. Start with that and see if they know anybody. But start with that and see it happening. See yourself in the role where it is occurring. Because what happened is things in the past which have caused you to doubt yourself are huge. Okay, so I've got another exercise for you, which is really powerful. Are you ready?
Yeah, because I want to do an exercise because I do that. I get into it.
I get it.
I smell it. I have my senses turned on in my visualization. And even I'm like, no, that's not going to happen again. Just, surrender. And then,
okay, so here's the thing. I want you to create a cobalt blue room in your head. And cobalt blue is that color for depression glass, okay?
Okay.
Cobalt blue. Okay. So anyway, you create a cobalt blue room in your head. The reason you do that is cobalt blue is the color for the throat chakra. It's for communication.
Uh-huh.
And think of the first relationship you had, which went south. And the person who was in it. The first one where it's like, oh, I'm not doing this again. And invite the person who you were in the relationship with to come into that room. Okay. Yeah, invite them in. And you're going to tell them how you feel. You're going to tell them how you feel. I feel you treated me like crap, and I feel like you were not a nice person. And I feel that you just blah, blah, blah. And then you let them tell you how they feel. Now, you're not going to hear it audibly, but you're going to sense it. You're going to create the energy. Then you tell them what you need. Even if it's not trying to create a relationship with them again, but I need for you to, you're clearing it. Then you let them tell you what they need. And then you make an agreement and you shake hands and you leave. Now here's the tip. Here's the trick. Do you want to know what it is?
Yeah,
It's
sure.
all aspects of yourself. There's nobody else coming in, but you're looking at different parts of it.
Oh yeah, I did something like that recently, but with my masculine side. So I get it.
Yeah, it'll really help you. So I hope that gives you a little bit of stuff to work on. See it,
Yeah.
feel it. There's a really good manifestation plan. It's a free 90-day thing called You Can Manifest What You Want. It's Abraham Hicks. If you go online and look for it, you will find it. And it really shifts things. I absolutely love it. So I think it's a case of really for you allowing it to happen and realizing it's not going to happen again. Okay, someone had some exercises.
Well,
Mark?
Sue wanted to know if
Oh yeah, Sue, I got that for you. I'm gonna share, Eric. Can we share again?
Yep.
What I did is I pulled it up. Let me see how good I'm getting at sharing. Let's hope I am. I did this, and I'm gonna pull this up.
Okay, and while she's doing that, Jody said, "Thank the universe for what you want, as if it's yours already."
Jody, that's spot on. That's absolutely it.
Yep.
Yeah, like you've done it already.
Do it every day. I like to do it while I'm laying there drifting to sleep. And then I also said that sometimes the reality of life it makes it hard to do affirmations because you're like what you just said of this always has happened. And it's not denying the fact that that's been the case, but you can change the way it is moving forward by changing your wording. So I've started saying, well, up until now, this is the case it is, but moving forward,
I love that.
And it allows you to acknowledge what has happened while putting yourself in a different mindset.
Yeah, I've tried that too, and I don't know. I tried all these things. I don't know. I just wonder if maybe it's not for me, and that makes me really sad.
Elena, I'm gonna put you right on the spot. You've said at least 3 different times during this exact thing negative comments about it. So as long as you're sitting in that space, it's gonna be real hard to fix it. So
yeah,
I feel you, girl, and I get you, but I definitely think check out because that's awesome.
But see, every time you say it, and this is not a criticism, every time you say it, it's like, don't say it.
Yeah.
Okay. So Sue wanted to know the last 3 things, not to blow you off, Elena. I think I need a 5-hour class. So
yeah, we're getting
I want to know the last 3 things. Okay, so after you flushed out the harm, you shield yourself, like a white light or a pink light. Then you manage the emotional overload by meditation or avoiding people who really bring you down as much as you can. Look for positive people and situations. So again, the 3 are primarily shield yourself, don't get overloaded, look for positive people, and create a haven, like an altar or a beautiful picture.
I love that. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Sue said she took a picture of it on her phone. So we are getting to the end of our time. Kendara, you did it in an hour and a half. Whoop, whoop. So this was such
awesome people here.
Yes, and thank you so much for coming and sharing with us. Kendara in the chat put her email address. So if you want a copy of that, she's gonna work on getting that figured out. So if you can't, Kendara, let me know and I'll help you on that. And then also make sure you're a part of the Introduction to Metaphysics meetup and also our Awkwardly Zen meetup so we can get you there. There's lots of opportunities for those of you who are struggling with this. There's another Law of Attraction open forum on Thursday. There's a paradigm shift open forum tomorrow, which will allow you to talk about how changing mindsets and all of that and how that can work. And then we also have a ton of other events coming up, and we will be doing more on manifestation and Law of Attraction because it's absolutely key. I think JP is going to teach some on some of that at some point. So yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys so much. Kendara, you are lovely. Thank you for being the most amazing 100th event on Awkwardly Zen.
Thank you for having me. And everybody, thank you for coming. This was so much fun.
Absolutely. We cannot do it without all of you. So have a fabulous
Absolutely.
day and take your energy and what works for you and leave the rest behind. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Thank
Bye.
you so much. Bye.
Thank you so much. You guys are all amazing. Okay.
Thank you, Kendara.
Oh, thank you, Ethan. I'm looking on how to send that to you. Thank you all. I love you all and really appreciate you. So thanks.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Kendara.
Thank you all. It was great. Thank you, Ari.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Bye.